Hey. So I told you that I would do a video for Hamlet. Sorry, today has just not been my day. So what I did was, as I read, I took down my important notes. I already talked about Act 1 with you guys, so there's no need to go over it again. Sorry. Act 1 really just sets everybody up. Can you please not sit on my phone? Again, not my day. She's gonna go lick your cup. Look. Okay, so do not touch, please. Okay, so we start off then in Act 2. Okay, and apparently I made no notes for Act 2, Scene 1. I want you to know he's having fruit snacks. Okay, so in Scene 2, or rather, I guess I should say, in Scene 1 of Act 2, King Claudius and Gertrude request, Optimus Prime. They request Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to come to help figure out what is up with Hamlet. They realize that something is up with Hamlet and that he's just a little off and he's not acting himself and he's kind of acting a little crazy, but they really don't know why. So they're hoping that Hamlet's friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, show up to figure out why he's acting this crazy and to report back, essentially, okay? So Hamlet at this point has begun to start acting as if he was crazy, but he's really not. However, you can argue that he is, so that could be an idea for your essay that's due tomorrow. So he claims to be crazy because of his love for Ophelia. I just want you guys to see that I have a bunch of notes about it. Okay, and they do eventually, they being Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, eventually tell Hamlet why they are truly there, what brought them there. It wasn't just like, oh, we want to see our old buddy Hamlet. No, just kidding. Your mom and dad told us we were supposed to come and find out what's wrong with you. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. At the end of Act 2, Scene 2, sorry, we are told by Hamlet and by, I believe, Horatio, if I can remember correctly, that there is a entertainment troupe coming through town, aka a theater, okay, a traveling theater. It's coming through, and they can put on a play if we want them to. So Hamlet's like, you know what, that's a great idea. Tell me about this play. And the play very closely resembles the plot of Hamlet, where the uncle kills the brother to get the throne and whatever. So Hamlet persuades King Claudius and Gertrude to go and watch the play. Okay, so then we go into Act 3, Scene 1. Okay, Hamlet and Ophelia exchange some words, and during this time, Hamlet blames Ophelia, basically putting the burden of being a woman on Ophelia, like it's her fault, and that it's the fault of women for men being sinners and for men being bad, and that because you are a woman, men feel the need to sin because of what your body offers and what your body looks like, and that's her fault. He's putting it completely on her, which is it's just asinine, but you know what, it's Shakespeare, so here we are. Let's see. He also in this speech says that he does and doesn't, and he did and didn't love her. It's both, which if we know anything about love, that's kind of how it always is. It's a lot about, it says a lot about marriage as well. Anyway, Claudius and Polonius, okay, King Claudius and Polonius, Ophelia's dad, then set up a trap to try to listen to Hamlet and see if he says if he's truly crazy, if he truly loves Ophelia. Everybody's trying to figure out what the hell's up with Hamlet, okay? They can't figure him out. He's apparently a very hard person to read. So Claudius tells Polonius that we're going to send Hamlet into Gertrude's chamber. You're going to hide behind a curtain and just eavesdrop, okay? So Claudius obviously lets Gertrude in on this because she needs to be aware so that she can drive that conversation to the areas that it needs to be brought up to. while Polonius is listening behind the curtain, very Wizard of Oz. Okay. During this act, this scene, okay, Act 3, Scene 1, is the famous to be or not to be speech, which, if you are, oh boy, I lost my spot because of my wonderful dogs. Shoot. Sorry. I had this, and then the dog must have sat on the page. So I do apologize. Now I got to find it all over again. There it is. Okay, sorry. So if you're in your textbook, okay, our Norton textbook, it is on page 1147, and it's towards the bottom. It's line 59, 58, 57. Okay, so it's right down here. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune, something else, or to take arms against a sea of trouble. So take arms is kind of like our amendment, right, to bear arms. So do they, pick up a sword and fight for their right? Or do they just sit by and say, okay, well, this is what it is? Or do they kill themselves? So it's to be, do I live, or not to be, do I kill myself? However, this is his second time that he's really having a hard time with the idea of suicide. And again, like we discussed in Rowlandson's narrative, suicide, because of their Christianity and their faith and their religion and just all of their beliefs, is completely against like the code. Okay, you're not supposed to do it, you're not supposed to think it. You have to be a truly troubled soul to go through with suicide. Okay, which we'll get to later. Where else are we? Okay, Act 3, Scene 2. During the play, because now the play is taking place by that traveling theater group, the play is happening, and wonderful Hamlet just continues to kind of play on Ophelia. He is making her go crazy because it's constantly, I love you, I don't love you, I love you, I don't love you, I love you, I don't love you. But really, their relationship is strictly physical, which one of them seems to understand, that person being Hamlet, and the other one doesn't, being Ophelia, who developed feelings for Hamlet, and Hamlet's just like, nah, you're just a bedwench. And so because of that, he continuously makes very inappropriate sexual jokes towards Ophelia during the play. Okay, now I'm gonna try to hop over to that. Here we go. Okay, so now if you want to see those, again, it's on page 1154. Hamlet says, "Lady, shall I lie in your lap?" "No, my lord." "I mean, my head upon your lap." "Aye, my lord." "Do you think I meant country matters?" "I think nothing, my lord. That's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs." "What is, my lord?" "Nothing. You are merry, my lord." "Who, I?" "Aye, my lord." "Oh God, you're only jig maker." Jig maker. Sorry. And that is a writer of comic series, in case anybody was wondering again. Okay. That's kind of the biggest part of their back and forth about being sexual. You really have to look at it. There are some other great jokes throughout it. Shakespeare is really good at putting those in subtle ways. And I would have a great time doing this if we were in person, but because it's not and this is recorded, I'm going to refrain myself. Okay, so then Act 3, Scene 3, okay? Claudius is now very shaken up by this play because during the plot of this play, it's a king and queen are asleep. The brother of the king slips in and poisons him in his sleep. And that's very similar to what Claudius did to his own brother, King Hamlet, in order for him to gain the throne. So he's like, oh my God, this is too much. This is too similar. There's signs. People are telling me that I shouldn't have done this. But obviously he doesn't care because guess what? He's king. Okay. And then a moment happens after he is clearly shaken up. He decides to kneel down to pray for forgiveness. And at this moment, Hamlet walks in on him praying, and he is alone, and Hamlet has the opportunity to kill him to get that revenge that King Hamlet's, the ghost, King Hamlet, was saying, seek revenge, go for it, go, kill him for me because he killed me. I can't think of what I wanted to say there. But anyway, Hamlet doesn't take this opportunity. He does not kill Claudius, which when we get to the end of the play, we realize he should have done. A lot of things would have been avoided had he actually killed Claudius when he had this opportunity. Okay, but he doesn't. So then finally, it's been 2 acts since setting up the plot of Hamlet and Gertrude having words in Gertrude's chambers and Polonius hiding behind the curtain. Okay, so they finally go and have words. Polonius makes like a little noise and Hamlet hears it, turns around and just stabs at air, but it ends up being that he kills Polonius through the curtain. And as he's doing this, he's thinking that it's King Claudius hiding. So when he finally peeks behind that curtain and sees that it's Polonius, he's like, oh, well, shit. But then he's just like, oh, well, I'm mad, remember? So he kind of then chalks it up to his madness because he knows that people are thinking that he's mad. And he also realizes that he can use this. Okay. Let's see. What else do I have? Literally directly after he kills Polonius, the ghost of King Hamlet shows up in Gertrude's chambers. Now, Gertrude can't see the ghost. Only Hamlet, the prince, can see King Hamlet, his father. Okay? And he says, you still need to seek revenge for me. This is not enough. And the ghost of King Hamlet is trying to have Prince Hamlet describe what he looks like to Gertrude because King Hamlet is very upset that Gertrude can't see him. But this alludes to the fact that Gertrude only sees power, and now that King Hamlet is dead, he no longer has power in anything. Okay, in a minute. Let me finish, okay? Hamlet also, during this time, things get a little weird between Hamlet and Gertrude. Now, a lot of people interpret this as they actually have sex, but that is Macbeth, okay? Do not confuse the 2 plays. Macbeth is when he has sex with his mom. However, it's very Oedipal. In the sense of the Oedipus complex. So Hamlet says to Gertrude, Oedipus actually had sex with his mom and I only think about it. Weird, right? Why do you admit that? Anyway, we're going to completely disregard this, but it still adds to the fact that Hamlet is going crazy because nobody in their right mind would admit this, let alone think it. But now that they're admitting it to their own mother, that, hey, I know that Oedipus followed through on the desire, but I'm just telling you I'm not going to follow through, but the desire is there. Okay. Then we go into Act 4. Act 4 doesn't have that much happening, okay? So Act 4, Scene 1, Gertrude discloses that Hamlet killed or stabbed Polonius to Claudius, okay? So I'm going to say that one more time. Gertrude runs off and says, hey, Claudius. And he's like, yeah. And she's all like, Hamlet stabbed Polonius. I know, crazy. So now that we know that, they have to try to figure out what to do with the body because it's just been sitting in Gertrude's chamber this whole time. So we can try to assume that this is happening within like the course of a few hours, the stabbing and then the tattling. Okay, Hamlet ends up hiding Polonius's body under the stairs of the lobby, which is where they end up finding the body. And then what else? Act 4, Scene something. I didn't write that one down, but we find out that Fortinbras's army is coming to Denmark. Okay, so we still have this idea of war that's kind of perpetuating the whole plot. Not that it wouldn't be, not that the plot wouldn't be happening without that, but it needs something to kind of give more emphasis to the drama that's taking place. When I'm done, bud. Okay, so then Act 4, Scene 7 is one of the saddest moments. Ophelia kills herself. Okay, now she kills herself. We can have so many different takes on as to why. Okay, Polonius is dead, so maybe she killed herself for that reason. Okay, Polonius is dead and Laertes isn't there to help her grieve. It could be that. It could be that Hamlet truly is crazy and she's realizing that he simply was using her for her body. So it could be that. Ophelia's death scene has been very immortalized among artists and poets and people in movies. If anybody has seen the movie Savages with Selma Hayek and, oh my God, what's her name? Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively. Oh my God, that was going to kill me. I knew it was a B. Her name in that movie is Ophelia, and it's because the mother loved the tragedy of Ophelia. So there's a little bit of foreshadowing there in that movie. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so Ophelia kills herself. Now, because she kills herself, her funeral is going to be a little chaotic. All right, so Act 5, I'm moving right along here. Okay, this is even better than the SparkNotes version. Act 5, at the graveyard. Again, I just want you guys to see that I wrote these all down. And they're all like shorthand. It's G tells C that H stabbed P. So anyway, so in Act 5, at the graveyard, Hamlet is first hiding in the bushes because he doesn't know what's going on and who died. Why are they, what's with the weird, different, like death march almost. He can tell that something's not right and that this funeral procession is for somebody that killed themselves, because it's not, that person is not getting the proper Christian burial rites. So he's like, who is it? And then he notices that it's Ophelia. And I think he notices that it's Ophelia when Laertes jumps back into the grave to try to pick her up and say, no, you can't be dead. You must get the right burial because you were Christian. You were driven to this. This isn't your fault. Laertes wants to believe that she really didn't, that she was forced to do this because of Hamlet. Now, while that's happening, and before the funeral for Ophelia, Claudius and Laertes team up and they're like, hey, let's devise a plot. You're going to get into a dueling death match, very Game of Thrones style. I will in a second. Christian, why don't you climb up there and get it? No? It's in the cabinet in that big box. Go ahead. So Claudius says, how about we poison Hamlet? Which is exactly how he killed his father. So why not stay with tradition? He says, during this, we'll put some poison on your sword, okay, so that when he gets stabbed or sliced or what have you, nicked even, the poison will go into his bloodstream. And then after, I will offer him a poisoned cup of wine. And Laertes is like, yes, this is great, okay? And in Act 5, Scene 2, he's reminded of this because Laertes acts a little crazy about wanting to kill Hamlet because of his sister and his father, of course. And King Claudius is like, don't forget, we have a plan, okay? So Hamlet also then, during Act 5, Scene 2, discloses that he knew that letter, when he was being sent to England, was execution orders for himself. So being that he is so smart, he swapped the letter out for one that said to kill the messengers, which is probably where we get that wonderful idiom, don't kill the messenger. That it says that King Claudius wanted Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to die. Okay, now Hamlet does this because he feels very betrayed by his best friends, who are supposed to be his best friends, and decided to team up with his evil stepdad. So Hamlet took that very personally, and he's like, I'm sad I had to do it, but they had to die, because how dare they? Their loyalties to me. He's kind of a whiny brat, not gonna lie. So anyway, so Hamlet is asked to fight Laertes, and he agrees. Even Horatio tells him, don't do it, don't do it. Not that Horatio knows the plot or the scheme, but he's just like, I don't really think it's a good idea because, like, y'all are both good with the sword. So anyway, so they each get hit, okay, or you know, nicked a bit with the sword. And during this whole thing, Gertrude is so, like, distraught over, oh my God, my baby, oh, that she ends up drinking the poisoned cup of wine, falls over, and dies. Okay, so she dies, then Hamlet dies, then Laertes dies, then everybody dies. Spoiler alert. Okay, so that's essentially what goes down in Hamlet. Now, remember that you have a paper due by midnight tomorrow night. If you need an extension, please email me. I am doing my best to not ignore due dates, but be a little looser with them. So if you need an extension, just let me know. But shoot me an email before it's due rather than after. I'm a little more forgiving if you tell me beforehand rather than afterhand. Okay. Do you need me to open it? Again, it's going to be 3 to 5 pages, double spaced. There you go. Size 12 times New Roman font. You need a heading and headers and a works cited page. You need to include citations and quotations from the play to strengthen your point. You are not writing in first person, you are writing in third. So instead of using you, me, or we, you're going to use they, them, those people, these people, there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, something that I know is going to be asked, because it should be asked, is how do I cite a play? Well, let me tell you. Let's go to this. Okay. So this is my whiteboard. All right. Why did that not work? Go away. Text. Okay. All right. So let's say that we're going to quote the to be or not to be speech. Okay. So we know, here's what we know. It's in Act 3 in Scene 1, and it is lines, hold on, 59, 58, 57, 56. Okay, it starts at line 56, and it goes to line 89. Okay, so let's say that you know, to be or not to be. Okay, whoops. And then you say something super clever in between, and now you need your parenthetical citation. You are going to put Roman numerals. Okay, so 3, period. Then Act 3, small ones, because that's the act, or I'm sorry, the scene. Then you are going to put what lines you reference. So this would just be line 56, okay? Because the lines start over with every act. Anyway, sorry, I just distracted myself. However, if you were then quoting longer, okay, to be or not to be. So instead of now putting the page numbers, you're putting the act number, the scene number, and then the lines. So don't worry about page numbers. Now, where did that go? There it is. Okay. That is the question. Dude, I really can't type today. Wow. I had to memorize this a long time ago. Oops. I also had to learn how to spell. Okay, so we're going to say that we're doing that now, okay? Now, a lot of people ask, how do I show that there's a line break? Because as we know, it goes to be or not to be, that is the question. Then the next line, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer, next line. The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, comma, next line. Okay, so to show that it's the next line, you then put a slash, a backslash, okay? The slings and arrows, whether it's suffer, okay, backslash. So you can continuously write in a straight, straight across line. There's no need to make it look like that, okay? And then you would put that and then dot, dot, dot. Now this would be 56, 58. Okay, and then you would put to line 58. Okay, then your period, of course, goes on the outside of the parentheses. So I don't know. I really hope this helps. I have no idea if it's going to help you guys. Maybe you guys are all really, really smart and know this already, but a lot of people aren't quoting plays every other day, so you never know. Okay, so remember, for your act, it's going to be a tall or uppercase Roman numeral, your scene is lowercase, and then you put the line or lines that you're quoting, and to separate those line breaks, you put slashes, okay? I think that's all I have for how to cite it. Your essay topics could be, let's put this over here, okay? So, did Hamlet truly love Ophelia? Now, he says during the funeral that he would have done more than Laertes ever could have thought of doing for her, for Ophelia. Like, he would be buried alive with her. He would eat a bee, and he would do all this, like this, or eat an alligator or a crocodile, one of the two, for her. He would do these crazy things. So is this him still trying to come off as a madman? Or does he actually love her? Did he truly love her? Does he only, is this the too little too late kind of idea? Like, you've loved me too late. You should have loved me while you had me. So some of those things you can think about. You could talk about how Hamlet is the Lion King, okay? Now, how are the two the same? How are they not? The to be or not, or to not to be, blah, 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 to be or not to be speech. What part is that in the Lion King, okay? Who's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? Is it going to be Timon and Pumbaa in the Lion King, or is it the hyenas, Scar's hyenas? We have no idea. So these are things to think about when it comes to the Lion King. The next thing, is Hamlet truly crazy? Okay, is he actually cray-cray, or is he faking it? Shakespeare is known to write plays where people fake things, okay? Taming of the Shrew is another one, but that's a comedy, not a tragedy. So you could think about those. You could think about suicide for this particular paper, because Hamlet talks about it twice. Ophelia does it. So this is a big theme, okay? It's a very big theme. It's a very dark play because it's murder, suicide, and then we also have, the odd love for mom, okay? He says, hey, Mom, I'm attracted to you, and I want to do what Oedipus did, but I'm not going to because I'm not that crazy. So his love for his mother, why? How can we analyze that? Can we see why he truly loved his mother in that type of way? Why did he desire her? Did her desire for powerful men get passed down to him, but just that he desired power? So would he have obtained that power if he slept with his mother? Or does he take that power by sleeping with his mother? So that's something to think about, okay? We'll put power crazy. Okay, so now I don't know. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so again, it's due by midnight tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Monday. I'm posting this today on Sunday. If you need an extension, please let me know. Your weekly email will be coming shortly, probably tomorrow, because I don't feel like doing it right now. I think that's all I have, so I do apologize for the length of this video. I hope that it helps to clear anything up. If you have questions about Hamlet, please don't hesitate to, send me a text, send me an email, smoke signal, I don't care, a pigeon, anything. All right. That's all I got. So I will talk to you guys later, and I look forward to reading your papers. Cool. Bye, guys.